Good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending where you are watching from. And this is the spoiler tournament match between Furaime and Revenant, both being 1-0 at this point. I am Sokol2044, and I am joined by my co-con Reg. Good evening, Reg, oh my gosh.
It's all good. Bringing you the 1-0 round of the spoiler tournament. We've got Furaime took down Shady Force last week. Revenant beat Matt 7898. And now we've got them going up against each other today. Winner moves on to 2-0 in the Swiss stage. Sorry, go on.
We are close to getting ready. Furaime is off, and we're lacking Revenant stream at the moment. But we can see what Furaime is up to.
Yep. We've had the spoiler log for the past 15 minutes. Runners have had the spoiler log, so 15 minutes to come up with a plan. And it's looking like a Houlihan opening for Furaime here. Setting up his camera, going to jump in the water, then fall into the hole under that bush on the left, and 225 rupees.
Yeah, it's an easy way to get some quick money, especially in a spoiler seed, and you never know what that is going to be used for, whether it's going to be a Zora play or purchasing some things, maybe potions, in the future. But he is heading up towards Hyrule Castle. So maybe he's going to check out that tree pool and see what our uncle has. Maybe he's heading that direction.
Yeah, the tree poles are actually in the spoiler log at the very bottom. So got that information, and if they want to pull it for something, but Furaime wants an immediate 500 rupees. And yeah, while things are going on here, do be aware, we're aware of the issues on Revenant's side of the stream, working to get them addressed. And Furaime took advantage of knowing what that tree pole was, got an extra 80 rupees out of it. So he is absolutely flush with cash.
And that is never a bad thing.
Yeah, there are tons of ways to spend money in this game. Like, Bottle Vendor takes 100, Zora takes 500, and Furaime, if he's willing to take the walks, could reach both of those right now, pay them both off. But he also knows whether or not he needs to, and with that cash total, I would guess that he plans on spending at least most of it. As we've actually got Revenant with 500 rupees there in Kakariko as well.
Well, there's our lamp and our ice rod. And our first sword.
Yeah, there's what, 13 or so items in Kakariko Village, 10 in Blind's Hut, or 10 between Blind's Hut and the well here, so very high probability that the goods are in these locations. Furaime grabbing a baby shield and some flippers, and a nice little safety heart.
And a little more cash.
Yeah, big point on his side to route in the rupees. But he's walking right by the bottle vendor. Now, on Revenant's side, he's already been through Kakariko, so I think we can assume that he's got the same, basically everything Furaime's got except for the shield, which we can see he didn't grab. And now he's headed over, presumably to the Mini Moldarm Cave, skipping the dam, Knows that there's nothing worth his time right now in there. And gonna go kill some mini Moldorms for some stuff.
Making easy work of those mini Moldorms. Almost. One's being a little, here I guess, being a little difficult.
That fifth one didn't like his bombs very much, but he did get the 3-pack refill there. He got a bow and some Pegasus boots.
So we're going fast now.
Yeah, and that bow is really nice to have early as well as a strong and usable weapon. And having a bow this early in the logic with what we can see on the tracker, both Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness being pendants. Always good to have that early, not have to hunt for that or see two of them in Ganon's tower.
Looks like we're paying the fish a visit. So we must have something very important here. Not on the ledge, so it's definitely on Zora.
Definitely explains the early money-heavy plays from both runners. The Houlihan openings, the additional 300 from Furaime. I'm not 100% sure offhand where Revenant got his extra cash from, but that is a Master Sword.
So looking at the loadout, it could be an Aga play quite early.
Yeah, early Aga play if there's something on like the Lumberjack, or if there's a Moon Pearl on Pyramid, or even something like 2 gloves or a glove and a hammer or something in the Dark World. But yeah, we've got both runners headed up towards the castle here. Furaime's already been to this area once to get the cash out of the Uncle Tunnel. So there's got to be... I think this is just going to be Aga, yeah. I don't think Furaime... Well, no, Furaime didn't have anything to kill guards with, but he's not going down regardless. Now, Furaime picked up 10 arrows. I believe those were in Blind's hideout.
Okay.
And Revenant didn't have any arrows till he got drops off the Ball and Chain Guard. So Furaime able to use that bow there, steal a little bit of time, enter the tower slightly behind, but pull a couple seconds ahead here. But at this point, 4 hearts, a bow, and a Master Sword climbing Aga Tower. This is worse than vanilla as far as strats go. Like,
yeah.
These guys have to... Yeah, gotta play it at least a little safe here. And Furaime actually falling a bit more than a room behind there between failing the strat to kill that guard and spending a lot of time looking for that heart under the pot in the previous dark room. Both of them are out of the dark here now. Circle of pots. Missing that arrow, unfortunately. Could have avoided aggroing the red guard if that had hit, I think. No boomerang or hook shot to pick up the key. Gotta go the long way. Get a couple pickups. Looking to see if Furaime grabs the arrows under that top right pot. But nope. Proceeding with 0. And yeah, Asher's in chat pointing out that as far as the actual gear goes, this is pretty much a vanilla climb of the tower. The big thing keeping me from saying that strats are going to be exactly the same across the board, A, the general lack of arrows, and B, the reduced health. Like, you've got 2 less hearts than even the top tier runners that skip Sank Heart would have at this point.
Right.
So you've got to play at least a little safer.
So, we're in our AGA 1 fight. How many blue balls do we think we're going to get?
Well, always like 2 just as the average there.
Well, there is 1.
Yeah, that feels bad to see immediately. Asking for more than 2 is just being greedy, or asking for less than 2, excuse me, but getting more just feels bad.
I usually go with my standard.
Well, I don't think we've seen a... Okay, I was saying... Oh.
Will it be 2 or will it be 3?
That should be 2. Yep. So right on average, Furaime going to have the same numbers because it's getting the same RNG here. And that's one of the nicer things about racing randomizer compared to vanilla. Aghanim cannot just break your run by giving you 8. Well, he only gives your opponent 1. But the immediate save and quits, no Moon Pearl on the pyramid. I gotta think this is going straight to Lumberjack.
Yeah. So what are the Lumberjacks hiding? Could be Moon Pearl or something, or a glove.
It's a fetch quest.
It is a fetch quest. So I guess the more important question is, what is in the potion shop?
It's probably still the Moon Pearl or a glove. But yeah, this is a little silly. Revenant's going to come down here. You would oftentimes see a fake flipper strat to hit this whirlpool and go straight to the Witch's Hut, but we've got real flippers, so no need for that. We can just take the direct route. And Furaime is coming from the Sanctuary, running with the direct route. None of the whirlpool stuff, but still a few seconds behind on the route here. Or should I say only a few seconds behind on the route.
A lot of race to go.
Yeah.
There's our Pearl.
So now we can go do some things in the Dark World. But the question is, what do we want to do? Revenant getting reminded he doesn't have a glove trying to lift that rock. Wondering if he's going... Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to the castle. It may be the Eastern Palace area for him. Meanwhile, Furaime is headed for that Dark World portal.
So we're, after about 13 minutes, we're starting to see some divergence.
Yeah, but if Revenant keeps going towards Eastern Palace itself, it may just be the cross-world high five here.
Ah, well, there you go.
Okay, so that's one piece of the normal puzzle. Just need a glove now, and we can quit using that portal at the castle. But at Hammer does seem to be all he wanted, because he's headed for the Dark World portal at the castle himself now. And Furaime on into Palace of Darkness. Not going to be able to kill Helmasaur King without that hammer, but it's a pendant, so the chances he needs to are fairly low.
And the hammer will just help with the routing through the Bowlock side pod here.
Yep. And he is skipping the first chest, going straight for the bow side. No hammer actually here means that he will need to take a death warp once he gets whatever's in these chests.
Well, it looks like Revenant's heading to the dig game.
Yeah, he's skipping the goods in pendant pod for now, which there's cases to be made either way here, especially with coming up Fire Rod there. That's pretty nice to have.
Yeah.
Furaime, big key, small key, taking a death warp back to the front. Because remember, no hammer means he can't hit those pegs to jump. And then looking like the Dark World again for Revenant here. It's worth noting, without the hook shot, he has no way to cross the river to the north to get to the west side of the Dark World. And without the mitts, which he is 2 items away from, he can't lift the rock to get to it from the south. So he's pretty much funneled into pod here, just with that fire rod in hand.
Yeah, and in case you're not familiar with Spoiler Seeds, these racers are probably actually watching this stream. So you want to shout them out in chat, tell them hi. But they are allowed to do that, to see what their opponent is doing and seeing where they are.
Yep, unlike the normal randomizer where most of the fun is that you don't know where anything is and you got to figure it out, these runners do have all the information here, so it's logistically not that different from a vanilla speedrun. Furaime going for a hammer jump, giving it up, and just spending the key.
And getting that big key early makes me think there's something in the big key chest. Oh, and there's something there.
Yeah.
Gotta need that.
That mirror. Yeah, that's actually really convenient on the route because it means he doesn't have to save and quit to go back to Sahasrara's hut. And there's another great item. And then we did see on Revenant's side a Cane of Samaria in that shooter room that Furaime is going for now. So 5 items in Palace of Darkness, 3 of them turning out great for these runners.
That was a very loaded pod. A very loaded pendant pod.
Yep. And now we're following it right up with a trip into Pendant Eastern Palace. There's 3 items to be had here.
Yeah, vanilla green pendant on top of it.
Yep. So if Sahasrara has something for that green pendant turn in, Furaime can turn that in and get his hammer at the same time. And Chad asking about the vanilla green pendant turn in. Yeah, that is your Pegasus boots. Sahasrara is like, hey, go clear out the monsters in Eastern Palace and claim the pendant and come back to me. And then he gives you the boots and the lore. Okay, so Revenant going for the hammer jump here. Looks like he's got it. Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, that's good. So he can get his flute and mirror right away. Save a little bit of time. And then in Eastern Palace so far, what was that? A cape and some blue mail?
That was the cape, yeah.
Okay, that's convenient safety to have for sure. It does mean that, logically speaking, like they didn't have to go to Zora for that second sword, but I don't think either of these guys turned down the offense boost at this point.
And he did pick up the blue mail as well.
Yeah, that's a good safety to have, especially when on super low health like this. Doesn't save you from those anti-fairies doing their fixed full heart of damage, but that is an ether medallion out of the far back of Eastern Palace. Need that for Misery Mire.
And Revenant is waking up the duck.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the flute here is we have yet to see a glove. We still do not have access to the Eastern... Well, yeah, we don't have access to Eastern Dark World without Hookshot or 2 gloves. Or well, I guess 1 glove, really, since we have Hammer. But we do have Mirror plus Hammer, and that flute does let us on to Death Mountain, as we see Revenant drop right onto it.
And I'm guessing we're leaving the old man in the cave to...
Yeah, he's just got something junk. Who needs money anyways?
Well, you might be getting more money here on the Spectacle Rock. Nope, Revenant's just going above it.
At this point, Revenant has spent practically all of the money he needs to this seed. He's paid Zora for that sword, he paid to get into Palace of Darkness, paid for the digging game. The only things really left that would cost him money are the Super Bomb and the chess game in the Village of Outcasts.
And we're in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, there's got to be the goods in here. Power Glove definitely counts as the goods. And apparently that's all the goods.
Can't go wrong with a little bit of health, a little bit of safety.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because he's still on green mail, so that 6th heart is pretty good. Now he's got access to almost the entire world. Where's he off to? It's looking like Eastern Palace, probably, because he's already done Sahasrala's Hut, and he's not going back to Pod.
Yep. Gotta go grab that cape, and if he wants it in ether.
I think that the cape is the if you want it item here. Or did I misunderstand you?
That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. It's just for reminders for chat or anybody showing up late. You can see on the tracker that Ether Medallion does open up Misery Mire. Misery Mire has the crystal listed right under it as well. So that's going to be... Revenant needs it. Not going to beat this seed without it.
As Furaime heads his way up the mountain. So overall, these racers are pretty close. Revenant might have a slight advantage.
I think that's hard to say at this point because he's still got to go through the first dark area of Eastern Palace and around the big room a couple times. Or I guess really just once he can mirror, save, and quit whatever out of that big key chest. Meanwhile, Furaime's got to cross a long bridge, but I think it's fewer screen transitions for Furaime here. So at worst, I think it's a push for either runner. Well, actually, if there's nothing else on the mountain here, Furaime is entering Paradox Cave. Revenant's still got a couple dark rooms to get through, which obviously Lamp makes those no trouble, so I think Furaime is coming out a few seconds ahead on the route here.
Yeah.
He is 1 heart behind on the safety, though.
She's trying to mirror away, but meant to have that flute.
Yeah, this ain't inverted. The mirror doesn't do anything in the light world. But we are going to finally get to see the main Western Dark Overworld for really both of these runners here. They can clear Thieves Town, they can clear Skull Woods. They could have cleared Hera if they really wanted to when they were walking by it, but both of them chose not to. My expectation there would be that there's probably nothing in there, therefore they're saving it for last and then come back and just do it with Herapot later.
It's probably a fair expectation.
And yeah, Skullwoods for Furaime here. Would probably expect to see him drop down to Thieves Town immediately afterwards. And if the mitts are somewhere along the route, that's great. If they're not somewhere along the route, there's still Swamp Palace. I didn't see Revenant took a death. Was that Overworld or?
That was Overworld.
Ouch. That hurts so badly. Because he had Aghanim dead, so that sent him all the way to the pyramid, as we saw.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Once again, if you're unfamiliar with spoiler seeds, it's a very heavy execution-based race. So, our runners mostly are on low hearts and low safeties, so most of the time they're always going to be in danger of an unfortunate hit.
Yeah, the big thing with this mode is that you want to get as few things as you can get away with, because anything else is slow. Revenant choosing to skip Skullwoods for now after that. Furaime tried a hammer hit on the Moth, but he was facing up, so no dice. Falling back on spins instead. And Master Sword spins do the same damage as hammer hits to the Moth. Only need 4 total for the kill there.
Oh, that Spike taking that fire rod.
Yeah, you hate to see that in this fight, especially because that was his only fire rod shot, so he's got no means to get Mothula unstuck from the corner if it decides to just hang out.
The Moth is not cooperating at all.
Nope, but that is the 8th hit there, and Furaime is rewarded with a crystal and a big key.
So, either we just came here for the kill, or there's something in that big chest.
Well, I mean, it's a crystal, so we had to get the kill regardless. But yeah, that was a really unfriendly Mothula fight for Furaime there. When Revenant does head back up to Skull Woods, look to see how much time he can save on that fight.
Maybe he will find a couple more safeties by that time.
Yeah, maybe an extra sword to really smooth out that fight, a harder 2 so that he can play really aggressive,
Maybe
or something like that.
Oh, well, there are Titan's mitts.
Yeah, I think that qualifies as the goods for that big key. And Furaime is done in Skullwoods. Not going to see the second item in that dungeon.
He heads to Thieves Town. Sorry, cut.
Yeah, I was going to be saying the exact same thing. Revenant is getting close to the end of the dungeon here. Only on 1 heart, but there are several hearts under pots he can pick up here. Just gotta not take a hit first. And he's good now. That Bunny Beam is a bit unfortunate without powder, but picks up the Maiden. Nothing in that chest, so he's skipping it. And just on to the boss. Or I lie, on to the big chest.
Yeah, I think he's going to want this. Oh, no. I lied. I thought he had more heart pieces.
Yeah, even so, if you've got some heart pieces listed out, Furaime grabbed a tempered sword. Did we see Revenant holding? No, Revenant doesn't have that.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not like it speeds up the blind fight any, but that's still very convenient.
Yeah, he might come back in for that. That'll make the moth fight a little easier.
Yeah. That's the NMG strat. Like NMG, one of the big routing points of it is getting the tempered sword as soon as possible. Really helps make that moth fight smooth and consistent. And there's a red boomerang and Revenant's first crystal. Okay, and there he is right back in. Got to assume that's for the sword. I wonder if it's faster this way? I mean,
I don't see
almost
how
certainly not. Yeah. Might ask about that after the race.
Yeah. I can move near from right here, so it might be.
Yeah. And chat's also speculating on the difference between big chest, which is big, and big key chest, which is small but has a large key in it. We did see him open that big chest for a piece of heart, so that's possibly also a thing. Which, honestly, when you've only got 15 minutes and you're reading that spoiler log under pressure, that's hard. Like, stuff like that happens to the best of runners.
Yeah, it's always fun to remember what the difference between compass and map chest, and yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah, like remembering where your compasses, your maps are, like, and in Thieves Town here, what the heck is an ambush chest, and so on. Furaime pulled out that cape, grabbing the wall, which keeps it from draining magic while he gets his last couple hits in on blind. And there's 2 crystals for Furaime. Revenant is about 3 rooms away from getting his second crystal, and then they'll be back to parity. Good job on Revenant's part there, knocking that Gibdo into the spike, which killed it a lot faster than just relying on sword spins.
So no magic for Fire Rod, but Tempered will help. Just has to get him off those spikes.
Yeah, I think the sword beams are messing with him there too, because those are absolutely nasty. And that, I think, is definitely a faster fight than what we saw on Furaime's side, courtesy of sword advantage.
Yes, most definitely.
On Furaime's side, we did see him go into that brewery in the south of the village of Outcasts and grab a shovel. Not opting to go immediately turn it in. Now, this is a King's Tomb check. So, what's in here?
I'm going to guess something important. Hashtag Captain Obvious.
Yeah, that's another one of those absolutely required, cannot beat the seed without it items. We need that Bombos to open up Turtle Rock. And then getting to route in Graveyard Ledge on top of that. So,
Wow.
something here. This is fairly conventional routing by any normal standards.
Yeah.
In this case, the item here is just Furaime's 7th heart container, but still pretty much in the way if you're approaching King's Tomb from the Dark World as he did.
Yeah.
And that does... sorry?
I say you might as well get it. It's right here.
Yeah, especially because that puts him on the 7-heart blue mail breakpoint that I very commonly hear cited as the comfort zone for runners in spoiler settings.
And what goodies do we have in Meyership?
Half magic ain't bad.
I'd take that.
Yeah. But looking over Furaime's tracker here, and really over Revenant's as well, because they are on parity here. Revenant a heart behind on the safety front, having skipped that Graveyard Ledge heart. But the only item we're missing is the hook shot. Now let's see how Furaime does. This room, almost perfect, but that last Popo there, his sword beam was just a little wide, got caught on the corner of the wall there. But almost perfect there from Furaime in that very difficult Meyer 2 room. Now let's see if Revenant can do the same here. He is opting for Cane Strats instead of Fire Rod.
It's not a bad idea.
Is not able to... Yeah.
But
it feels nice when it works, and it's pretty clever, but he has some trouble nailing the Wizrobes with it as they fade in and out, and it does take him a fair bit longer to get through that room than it took Furaime with the Fire Rod strats. And the big key up there in that Firelock chest, not quite Godmire, but he can still just run around like this and take this warp, and he is there. Now, the one thing I wasn't checking for is whether either of these runners set up the spooky action glitch.
Yeah, I was not looking.
Yeah, Furaime dusted up his boots a little bit before placing that block, which indicates to me that yes, he did. And I am expecting the same from Revenant, who is taking a detour to this cutscene chest. And yeah, we see the spooky action off the spike on Furaime's side, letting him hit that first crystal switch, the anti-fairy for the second, and now that he's out of the dark, he'll hit the bottom of this lamp for the third. And there we go. Spooky action, hitting crystal switches without actually hitting them by displacing the fire rod splash damage.
So what does cutscene chest have for us that Furaime skips? Oh, the fourth sword.
Fourth sword is not a huge time save in many places, especially since we don't have to kill Cold Stare. The biggest thing that it enables is the 0 cycle kill on Trinex, but it does enable some various cool strats against Vitreous here, especially in combination with the Cape, and we'll see what Revenant's strategy of choice is. Well, that didn't look to me like Revenant charged the dash there for the spooky glitch, so I think we'll be seeing him go through these rooms in the intended fashion.
Yeah.
On Furaime's side, though, we did see him. He used his cape to avoid damage and then took out the last 3 of the small eyes with arrows. And then it was just 8 arrows into the big eye, which is pretty standard. Like I said, with that gold sword in hand, Revenant's got multiple options for how he wants to approach that fight.
Should be slightly quicker.
With that cape in hand, I am actually expecting cape dash strats here, which looks really cool, but it's only actually worth doing if you've got a gold sword. Like, if you try to do this with a master sword, you're just going to cry a lot.
I know that because I have done that before.
Yeah, it's a fairly common thing among runners when they're first learning to try to do that. I tried to do it a couple times myself. Hey, there's magic powder. That's a fun safety. But we do have both runners on 3 crystals now. Furaime does already have the big key out of Desert Palace, so continues to be just, what, maybe like 45 seconds or so ahead on the route here?
I think it's a little bit more than that.
I wasn't paying attention to Vitreous skill times or anything. But yeah, that gold sword pickup, having to sit through that wall-moving non-cutscene, does cost Revenant a lot of time in exchange for, I would assume, a significant amount of comfort just having that sword in hand. And actually, I guess Furaime has half magic fire rod, so he's not concerned about land molas either way. But you can do some funky things to land molas with the gold sword as well, because that does rod damage to them. Same damage as the rods.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see where this hook shot is.
Yep, it is the last item they need to actually beat the game. They do need it to get to the back of Swamp Palace. There is no sequence break to get around that. So it's got to be somewhere. These runners do know where it is. Anyways, chat's asking about Silverless Ganon fight and the gold sword there. And yes, the gold sword only has the potential to speed up the first 2 phases of the Ganon fight. It makes the 1 cycle phase 1 and 1 cycle phase 2 a lot easier and a lot more consistent. But if you can get those with the tempered sword, then a gold sword spin does exactly the same amount of damage as a tempered sword spin to Ganon. So the net time save is exactly 0 if you get those first 2 phases. And it looks like with that hammer pull, Furaime crossing the bridge here. And I've got to assume it's Dark World stuff here, because otherwise he would have gotten it alongside the glove the first time through.
Yeah, that makes sense. But, oh, it's getting dead-rocked.
Yeah, that tiny little diagonal there is absolutely nasty placement for a dead rock. And you just gotta despawn them at that point.
So Revenant is about 1:40 behind.
Yeah, he does have the additional safety consistency of that gold sword in his back pocket, but it doesn't save 1:40 in Trinex. Saves minimal time against Ganon, as we discussed, unless Furaime's fight is less than clean. And the other bosses we've got left, yeah, unfortunately the time save is minimal against both Moldorm and Argus as well.
Yeah. killing those little puffs of Argus. It's going to be the same for our Tempered Oracle Sword, so...
Yeah, and same for the main body.
Yeah.
We are in Turtle Rock here. So Furaime got a big key. Gonna have to do the Fire Rod side for at least one small key.
So I'm guessing it has to be in here somewhere.
Yeah, like that or something directly blocking it.
True. Hopefully, well, not that it matters, but hopefully it's sooner than later.
Well, this is a crystal dungeon, so we
Yeah.
have to go all the way through regardless.
Right.
Yeah, Revenant coming up and coming into Turtle Rock as well does signal to me that, yeah, we're not just doing this for the crystal. There's a hook shot. Or, well, I guess the only fetch quest we've got left at this point is the book. Furaime did pick up both the powder and the shovel. Has not turned either one in.
That or the bottle. Second might have it.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen any of those yet either. And then chat's also reminding me that the 5 thirst crystals themselves are a fetch quest.
Well then.
Nice refill for Furaime. I believe he took a hit from a chain chomp in that room, getting off the pegs and towards the chest. And Revenant getting shocked by the jellyfish, trying to kill it just to clear the path for him. No go, unfortunately. And Revenant has no hook shot, so he's got to wait for those torches to go out now, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I believe everyone who has done Rando has made this mistake.
I mean, yeah, it's not a mistake you can make in vanilla, so, but it's just muscle memory getting the better of you. And we did see Furaime, I believe he skipped the Turtle Rock big chest, also skipped the crystal roller chest right there. But
looks like we're heading to Laser Bridge.
Yeah, there's got to be a key on Laser Bridge unless Furaime just didn't count them. He does need one to get to Trinex. But anything else on that bridge is fair game.
Well, at 47 minutes and 57 seconds, Furaime is in go mode.
Yep, all he's got to do at this point is rush bosses. He does have to backtrack down to Swamp Palace for that one. He can't just arrow right into GT from here, unfortunately, but logic was never going to allow that.
The gold sword. Oh, go ahead.
And I was probably going to say the same thing you were, so go ahead.
I was going to say with the gold sword, this might be a slight chance for Revenant to pick up some time when he gets to Trinex.
Yeah, if he can nail the 0 cycle strat there, he's grabbing that bottle for safety. Furaime did skip that. But yeah, if he can nail the 0 cycle there, Furaime did need 2 cycles to take out both of the fire and ice heads. So that's a good 5 to 7 seconds, I think, that Revenant could save. It's not gonna overturn the race or anything at this point, but it is the kind of thing he needs if he wants to make the comeback here. Also, just since this was mentioned in chat a little bit, there does not have to be a key on Laser Bridge. And I have seen runners get burned multiple times by skipping the big chest and going for Laser Bridge instead, assuming it would have a key. So basically, there are 4 keys in Turtle Rock. 3 of them have to be before Laser Bridge. The 4th one can be anywhere except Trinex. So we could have 3 keys in like the first chest, the 2 fire rod lock chests, and then the crystal roller room, and that would result in no small keys on Laser Bridge, and that's a perfectly valid layout. The big key would, of course, be vanilla in that situation. The specifics of key logic and how many keys lock any specific chest is a lot more important in Key Sanity and in Palace of Darkness than in conventional seeds for conventional dungeons. Revenant does not go for the 0 cycle strats behind Trinex, but still saves a couple seconds getting 1 cycle there, and a very nice phase 2.
So yeah, Furaime is just gonna rush as fast as he can back to Argus.
Yeah, I would be surprised to see him check basically anything in this dungeon unless the waterfall chest or the flooded chests have like heart containers or something he's interested in. Which I think, given that he passed up that bottle in the crystal roller room, it would probably just be heart containers at this point. Also passed up that red mail in Super Bunny Cave, although he does have the option to go back to that immediately before Ganon's Tower.
That red mail is nice to have, especially for Revenant with 6 hearts.
Yep. And we do see Furaime here trying to go for the diver down technique. You familiar with this one?
I am. I'm more familiar with the bomb version than the Samaria version.
Yeah. You want to try giving a brief explanation of it then? Tell the viewers what they just saw Furaime do?
You can try. You can go ahead.
Right.
You'll explain it better.
Yeah, alright. Basically, that Samaria block, he placed the Samaria block in a place where it was partially under the rail, partially not. And then he jumped into the water, and he jumped out of the water while facing right. And that, combined with holding his sword out, let him clip into the Samaria block, and therefore clip, well, not really the Samaria block so much as into the rail. And that let him jump off onto the water. And the water in Swamp Palace is a little bit special. If you jump into it anywhere other than the stairs, it doesn't actually act like water. So he was able to just walk on it, open the chests, leave. And that saves time compared to flooding the room, or unflooding that room.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there is an alternative setup that can be done with bombs, and that, instead of using the Samaria block, just relies on the bomb explosion to clip you into the rail, and from there it's the same.
Yep.
Anyways, we did see Argus go down on Furaime's side for his 6th crystal. Pretty clean phase 1. Did miss the fire rod plus spin quick kill on phase 2, but was able to recover pretty nicely with it and still knock that down decently. And yeah, Dead Rocks suck.
They are not his friend tonight.
Nope. Man, there's another one trying to interfere with him. So Furaime here is going to go into the Dark World. He's going to choose to use this portal, as Revenant does his own diver down and gets his 2 heart containers out of the flood room. He's going to go through the Super Bunny Cave. Whether he grabs the red mail is his prerogative. Like somebody in chat was saying earlier that he doesn't need it, and frankly, he's got, what is that, 9 hearts? And I know Furaime is... Sorry?
I said he has 10, so he's...
even better.
Yeah, so... Maybe, but... I mean, it is right here, but I think... Yep.
Yeah. Like, I do agree with chat saying that, like, I know Furaime is a very, very good player of this video game, and strictly speaking, doesn't need it, per se. But when it's right there, why take any chances?
You never know when you're going to take those hugs from Ganon, so...
Yeah, hugs from Ganon, incidental damage all around in the tower. But before we see Ganon's tower here, we've got Tower of Hera. And this is going to be real quick with the Hera pot clip. Almost as quick as Revenant's phase 2 Argus kill there.
Okay, Hera.
I have never been a fan of super speed setups for this clip for exactly this reason. Like, some runners swear by them. But, okay, there we go. Furaime did finally get it. Like, you've got to move precisely at super speed so that you clip 1 pixel into the pot, and therefore you can hook it and then fall into it.
Hera pot is still one glitch that I have yet to master.
Yeah, it's basically just find a setup that you like and that clicks for you. But there are so many of them that finding that one can be pretty hard. But that's a Moldorm down. That is 7 crystals for Furaime. He is going into Ganon's tower.
So where do we think that big key is? Since they know where it is, what chest? What main chest do you think it's in?
Yeah, like I know where it is because I looked at the log. I don't know if you checked and know where it is, but if you do, then...
So I'm going to guess Bob's chest.
Making them go real deep into the tower for that one, huh?
No, everyone needs to go visit Bob.
And then actually the other thing that I haven't really mentioned so far, but that I think is worth bringing up at this point, we have done pretty much everything in, well, we haven't done everything in every dungeon, but we've had the opportunity to do everything in every dungeon except Ice Palace, as Revenant gets an incredibly quick super speed Hera pot there, saving a significant amount of time over Furaime's attempt at it.
Meanwhile, Big Key wasn't selfless for him, so very quick Big Key damage.
Yeah, that would be great even for a normal seed, but it does let Furaime go right up the tower, and he's got 2 keys. And Revenant's got his 7th crystal, so I'll resume my previous point about we have had the opportunity to check so many locations at this point. The only dungeon we didn't enter is Ice Palace, And we have no silver arrows. You think they're in Ice Palace, they're somewhere deeper in Ganon's Tower, or just somewhere in the overworld that was inconvenient?
Well,
I guess you know the answer.
I do know the answer to that. I did control find that one, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Ganon will tell chat anyways. But yeah, it is, I think, still worth bringing up as just a recap of sorts for chat. We did have required items in Eastern Palace. We had that Ether Medallion to get into Mire. We had a mirror, a flute, and a cane in Palace of Darkness. But Ice Palace, just completely void. Didn't have to touch it today. So, yeah, a lot of inconvenience for the runners with those pendant dungeons, though. Having to almost full clear both. And that, I think, is why we're seeing these runners still in Ganon's Tower at the hour mark.
I mean, the beginning game was also kind of interesting with the everything we needed to get to the Dark World.
Yeah, I completely forgot to mention that we saw Aghanim die 50 minutes ago. 50 minutes ago. And we're only an hour through. Wow, those BMO statues are incredibly rude to Revenant there. But I didn't even think to talk about Furaime just completely shredding the Gauntlet and Lanmola's 2 there.
Yeah, he's already
lighting his torches. Yeah. And he doesn't need to kill those Helmosaurs. He's got 2 keys. He's also got a powder for a refill in the next room. So he will be fully equipped. Also, I lied. Chat's not going to learn where silvers are from Ganon, sorry.
Probably one of the most convenient places for silver to be. Other than right here in the Moldorm chest.
Yeah, well that's... Actually, I find that those locations really inconvenient because it means you don't have them for bosses like Vitreous. But we did see Furaime poke Moldorm 2 in the tail there, which caused him to run quickly, shall we say. He did try to recover it with a spin, but no dice. And he's entering Aga 2 as Revenant is past Landmos 2, headed up to the Wizroad rooms.
As we get our daily geometry lesson.
That could have been a triple from Furaime, but wasn't able to get the third one lined up. Oh, but that's a brilliant double to close it out in 3 cycles anyways. Like, how did he get that one? I don't understand.
Yeah, I would have not have gotten that cycle.
Yeah, like the number of players that would have is really small. I'm actually really impressed, but Furaime did miss the Trident spin there, so he's not cleaning up phase 1 of Ganon in 1 cycle, so having the gold sword would have saved him that. But if he gets the 1 cycle here on phase 2, then the time save would be less than the wall-moving cutscene in Misery Mire, which is where Revenant got that last sword from. And yeah, with the cape, there it is.
So yeah, we just have to. Furaime just has to avoid a unfortunate hit or drop.
Yep, he's got one silver arrow. He's going for lamp spam for the torch glitch, gets it immediately. Ganon doesn't even have a chance to move. And there's number 2. Meanwhile, we've got Revenant in the Agatu fight. Could not get a triple there. Might be able to get a triple here, though. No, just 2 doubles. And Furaime's got his 4 arrows in. Revenant not able to pull off the miracle double that Furaime got on the 3rd cycle. Still needs 1 more hit. But that's Furaime crossing the bridge and done with a time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 58 seconds. So GG's to him. And as he was crossing the bridge, Revenant did down Agatu, so he's just got to drop in, kill Ganon, and he'll be done as well. Not far behind at all. And Revenant going to show us the consistency of the gold sword in this fight. Only needs 6 hits per phase for each of the first 2 phases, where the tempered sword needed 12. And he's going for the dash strats here. He's going to dodge the circle of fire bats from the inside. Yeah, as you can see, the first 2 cycles free with the gold sword to get in 1 phase each.
Yeah, and he's now onto the much easier part of the Ganon fight.
Of course, his sword does not mean a thing at this point. Well, the fact that it's better than Master Sword is all that matters here. If it were Master Sword, he'd have to spin. But there's a nice double arrow. And he's going to just need 1 more shot here.
And down he goes.
Yep. So he's just got to wait for that bridge to spawn. And he is done with a time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 6 seconds. So about 2 minutes behind there. Less than 2.5. And Furaime is in Twitch chat, hanging out. We'll probably take questions. We'll see if Revenant will join us to talk about things. In the meantime, while we wait for him, I do want to ask Furaime, there was a cape in Eastern Palace. Did you ever consider that instead of the Zora sword, or was the offense of the sword worth the time it took to gather the money and walk up to Zora? Like, that's really the biggest question on my mind with routing this seed.
Do you mean the Meyer sword?
No, I mean the cape in Eastern Palace to get to Aghanim instead of the Master Sword.
Oh, gotcha.
To get to Aghanim.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So Furaime just chose the Zora sword over the Meyer sword, and that drove his early game routing because he wanted that sword as soon as possible. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And Furaime also in chat saying that he forgot about the Thieves Town sword. until after he did Skullwoods.
Yeah, because Moth was not giving you a good fight at all.
Yeah, Tempered Sword just makes that fight a ton better. Like I said, there's a reason that the vanilla no major glitches speedrun routes that sword in as soon as possible. And I think Revenant will be joining us here in a few seconds. While he gets in here, I would like to give a big shout out, because we didn't get to do this during the race, to our tracker Oddwalls, who jumped on just last minute to make this happen. Saved me from having to try and track and comm at the same time. So big shout outs to that guy. He's the hero.
Yeah, doing all the behind the scenes work, pushing all those colorful buttons.
Yeah, even with the spoiler log in hand, that's not very easy to do just because of how fast-paced it can be. So
Yeah. Also, if you have a chance, follow both runners, Furaime and Revenant. I can't even think right now.
Yeah.
Also,
for anybody, sorry, go on.
No, I said also, if you're looking for more spoiler log races, we do have a race tonight at 10:15 p.m. on SpeedGaming 3, 10:15 p.m. Eastern. So between Coughlin and Sir Lincoln.
Yeah, and then actually an hour after that, we do have Tam versus Canadian Major, although it's looking like restream for that one may not happen, unfortunately. But do have at least one more match tonight starting in about 45 minutes. And we do have Revenant with us in chat, at least, to take a few questions, and saying that he couldn't choose between Sword or Cape for Aghanim, so he just chose Sword, which I think that makes a ton of sense, really. Because that is a lot of extra offense in the early game. Like, I'll rag on Master Sword all day compared to Tempered Sword, but Fighter Sword to Master Sword is still a pretty solid jump.
Yeah, it's not fun going up that tower with only fighters.
Nah, like, if you did that with the weapons they had, I think the bow. Well, I want to say the bow would be the main weapon, but the arrow situation for both runners climbing up the tower was ugly.
Yeah, and I believe Revenant had the hammer as well. So.
No, Revenant didn't get the hammer until after the tower.
That is correct. Never mind. Ignore that.
Yeah. But it would have been available if they had wanted it as an alternative to the Master Sword. Anyways, both runners' credits are moving on here. Revenant's starting to get to the randomizer side of things instead of the Japanese guys that made the magical vanilla game. And Furaime's are done. I think that's gonna be pretty much it for us. Unless you've got more you want to say?
It was a great race to watch. And yeah, that's all I.
Yep, we will be seeing Furaime in the 2-0 Swiss bracket next week. Revenant going to be in the 1-1 bracket. They're going to be one hell of a tough customer for whoever he draws up against. Really looking forward to seeing both of these guys run both next week and throughout the remaining of the Swiss stage. Just because, as a reminder for chat, anybody who showed up late, may not be familiar with this tournament. This is a 7-round Swiss stage of 64 people, and we are cutting that down to 8 for a bracket stage. So going up 2-0 in the Swiss, well on your way to getting to that bracket stage, but 1-1, even 0-2 at this point, by no means out of it.
Yeah, still a lot of tournament to go.
Yep. But I do think that will be it for us this time. I've been Reg. My partner's been Sulkle. And Sulkle, it's been good working with you. So
Likewise.
I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, everyone stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.